Maybe we shall start with the core training of project management. Fine. So in the last class, we saw what a project was. We broke down the word of project as problem, resources, objectives, justification, empowerment, commitment and training. So today we shall see some more advanced concepts of project management. So today's module will be introduction to project management. Okay, we shall see what exactly is project management and how is it useful. Now first thing is you need to understand what is PMBOK. It's very important. PMBOK stands for Project Management Body of Knowledge. It's an ANSI standard. Like how you have ISO standards and other standards, we have a standard for project management, and that project management standard is called as PMBOK. Now currently the standard is in the 7th edition, and you should know that it is the global standard for the industry. So one thing you should understand, whatever we see in PMBOK, it is all generic standards. It is applicable to every industry. It's not that it is applicable only to IT industry. Projects happen everywhere. Projects happen in construction, projects happen in mechanical industry, projects happen in civil industry, projects happen in medical electronics industry, in automobile industry and so on. So whatever is mentioned in PMBOK, it is very generic, it is not very specific. If you are working in the IT industry, you have to take some inputs from the PMBOK and you have to implement the project which will suit your IT industry. But as a project manager, you need not know everything about what is there in PMBOK. Basically, if you are working on an IT industry, you need to know what are the best project management practices in the IT industry. So this is the first and the foremost thing you need to understand. It's a standard. It's called as an ANSI standard. ANSI stands for American National Standard Interchange. So that is the standard which is actually dictated, and the PMBOK is the outcome of that particular standard. So there are few points on PMBOK. It is the sum of knowledge with the profession of project management. It includes proven traditional practices that are widely applied. See, one thing you have to understand, the outcome of PMBOK is nothing but the experience of people. See, I have around say 15 years of experience as project manager. You have around 20 years of experience as a project manager. So you know what and all difficulties we face on a day-to-day basis. So what we do, whatever knowledge and experience we have, we contribute to the society, or we contribute to this PMBOK. So PMBOK is actually a huge repository of knowledge which has been accumulated by various project managers who have worked across the globe. So that means whatever is there in PMBOK is actually a trusted practices. It is not just written for the sake of writing it. They are all trusted practices where people have used it and they have implemented and they have found outstanding results. That is why PMBOK acts as a ready reckoner whenever you have any doubts with your project management. Then it has got innovative practices, some practices which are new, which have not been mentioned earlier, and certain things which have been unpublished earlier also will be published on a day-to-day basis. So these are some of the things which you have to know about the PMBOK, which stands for Project Management Body of Knowledge. Now what is there inside this PMBOK? It will basically tell you what is a project. Today I will define what is a project for you. Then it will tell you what is project management. Now there are three things which are very important which you need to understand. So it is not just projects. There are other things also which you need to know. One is called project management. The second one is called program management. And the third one is called as portfolio management. When you go to any organization, you have project managers, you have program managers, and you have portfolio managers. They are all different. Big organizations like Infosys, TCS or Tata's, they would have project managers, program managers and portfolio managers. But there is a difference between a project, a program and a portfolio. We shall see that in the later session, what is the difference. But as a career path, first you should try to become a project manager. Now after you have spent some time as a project manager, then you can migrate to becoming a program manager. Once you have spent some time as a program manager, you can become a portfolio manager. So when you are a portfolio manager, you are in the highest position basically. So your career path is always beginning with the project management. Now there are two things which you have to understand which happens in any organization, and it is very confusing. One is called project management and the second one is called operations management. Now most of us get confused with the word. What is project management and what is operations management? So we will clarify this. What is the difference between project management and what is operations management? In order to understand that, you should know what is a project and what are operations. We shall see that, and we shall also see the role of a project manager, what and all he does on a day-to-day basis. So you are taking this course because you want to become a project manager. So you should know as a project manager what is that you do on a day-to-day basis. And we shall also see what are enterprise environmental factors. So all these things are actually covered in this PMBOK. So basically PMBOK covers all these points. So first we shall see what is a project. So the definition of a project is something like this. Now this is the definition which is given by the PMBOK. What does it say? A project is temporary, always understand. A project is temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service or result. That's all. Always remember, whenever you use the word project, it is always temporary, it is not permanent. What is the meaning of temporary? Temporary means every project will have a start date and every project will have a end date. The moment you say that project has got a start date and an end date, we say that it is temporary. If it does not have a end date, it is infinite. Okay, then what is the outcome of the project? Whenever you do a project, you either create a product, you create a service or you create a result. So what is the outcome of a project? You create a product, you create a service or you create a result. That's all. See, that is why you have product oriented companies and service oriented companies. So you take for example Apple. Apple is a product oriented company because they manufacture iPhones, tabs, etc. You take Airtel. Airtel is a service oriented company because it gives you the mobile service. Or you take any LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India. They are basically providing you services. So whether it is a product oriented company or a service oriented company, they have projects inside them. And those projects will either create a product, service or a result, and all projects are temporary and it will produce a uniqueness is very important. That means there are no duplications. Unique product, service or a result. Okay, you will understand this when you take some examples. Now you suppose if you are considering the IT industry. Okay, now I have a project to upgrade my software version. See, already I have one software. I have to upgrade it. So upgrading from the old version to new version is a project. For that you will have a project manager. So that project manager, under him he will have front end development, he will have back end development team, he will have quality assurance team, he will have deployment team, like this. So that means there are multiple people who are actually working to achieve this objective. What is the objective? Upgrade the version. Upgrade the version. So this is one example of what a project is in terms of IT industry. See, I will give you an example. See, you have a portal for railway ticket, IRCTC. Now that railway ticket reservation portal has to be upgraded because we are following the old system. It has to be upgraded. So if you have to upgrade, then what you are supposed to do? You have to bring in a lot of changes to that particular portal. So now if you want to bring changes, you have to start a new project only. So that project we call it as a upgrade project. So earlier version was 1.0. Now from 1.0 you want to migrate to 2.0. So it's a migration project. So how do you migrate it? For that you need front-end development. You have to change the user interface. The first thing is it is following the old interface, which is not at all good. People are not liking the interface at all. So you have to first change the user interface. Then you may have to change the backend, because every project will have a backend, because the data will be stored where? It will be stored in the database. And the database is very slow. It is not able to retrieve the records properly. Probably you are using some old database. Now you are migrating from the old database to new database. Then you have to use quality assurance people, testing people, whether to test whether the new project is more efficient than the old project. Then finally you need deployment people. That is, after the project is completed, you have to deploy. That means there should be a smooth transition from the old system to the new system, from the old version to the new version. So this it's an example of a project. Okay. So now always remember, a project has a definite beginning and a definite end. This is very important. When you start a project in your organization, we do something called as a kickstart meeting. You will participate in a kickstart meeting. What is a kickstart meeting? They will call you, they say that you are in my project. They will give you, this project is titled so and so. He is the customer. This project has got these deliverables, these objectives. This project is starting from tomorrow and it has to end on a particular date. Let's say that the project deadline is, say, 1st of February 2023. That's the deadline of the project. So that is from today to 1st of February 2023. That is the time duration for you to complete the project. So that means it is definite, time is definite. So we say it is temporary. But sometimes what happens? The project has a definite beginning and a definite end. The project objectives have been met, cannot be met, or will not be met. Sometimes you may have to stop the project. Why? You may feel that the objectives cannot be met. What could be the reasons for that? Because there could be lack of resources, or you are running out of fund. Your customer promised you to give you funds for the project, but unfortunately he himself turned bankrupt, so he is not able to give you the funds. So if he is not able to give you the funds, what happens? Your project will be terminated. So our project objectives cannot be met for various other reasons. Maybe there could be a legal compliance. That could be one of the issue where your project cannot be, objectives cannot be met and cannot be continued. So in all possibilities, projects are always temporary. Projects can last several years. You always know this. It can last several years. Several years means what? Actually, it's not that a project will complete in 1 or 2 months time. No. Some projects may last for 1 year, some projects may last for 2 years. Now the metro project which is there in Silk Board, it lasted for 10 years. Projects are not ongoing efforts and duration is finite. It is always finite. It may start in today and it may end after 10 years, but it will end after 10 years. It is always finite, and projects are undertaken to create a lasting outcome. That is very important. The outcome of the project is permanent. For example, you are building a metro rail project. To build a metro rail project, it took 5 years for you. But that project will remain for 25, 30 or 40 years. The outcome of the project will remain forever. But to do the project, it will take a definite time. To construct Taj Mahal, it took maybe around 10 years. I don't know. But the Taj Mahal has become such a big, good monument. It has lasted for hundreds of years. So the outcome of a project will last forever. But to build a project, it is always temporary. See, that is why we say projects are temporary. But the results of a project is permanent. See, this you should always remember as a project manager. In order to create something, for example, Tata introduced a project as a nano car. So nano car project was introduced. So did they take some time to do it? Yes, certainly they took some time to do it. Maybe 3-4 years they took to bring out the nano car. But what is the result? Result is permanent. Nano cars are there forever unless and until it is out of the customer's eye view. So that means results are permanent, but the projects are temporary. So you can see here, projects may have intended and unintended social, economic and environmental impacts that far outlast them. Very, very important. See, a project may have economic impact, it may have environmental impact. Very important. For example, you want to build a metro project, it has an environmental impact, because you have to consider the air pollution, you have to consider land grabbing, you may have to capture the land of the farmers, so they will have environmental impact. It will have economic impact also, because person who is using the project will have an economic impact. So next, projects have a limited time frame in which produce their products or services. They are always limited. The time frame is limited. Now the project team seldom outlives the project. This sentence is very important. Suppose you are doing a project. Okay, now this is a project. This project has got 10 members. And you completed this project in 4 years. This project basically created one product. Now this product will be there for 15 years. But the people who built this product using this project concept will not be there for 15 years. So they will all get disbanded once the product is given to the market. So that is what it means. The project team seldom outlives the project. That means the people who did the project will not be with the product forever. So that means you cannot say all the construction workers who constructed metro will be there with metro service only forever. So there will be masons, there will be contractors, there will be painters, there will be plumbers, there will be electricians. They are all resources of the project. Till when they will be there? Till the metro is launched. After the metro is launched, all these resources will be disbanded. So now, what does a project create? It will create a product, service or a result. Very important. So what is a product? It is an end item or a component item. That is a product. For example, let's say that you are a company which manufactures television. Okay. Now, you want to add one new feature to this television. For that, you require one electronic component. This electronic component is still not available. So what do? You initiate one project. What is that project? The project is used to build this external component which can be integrated to your TV. So in this case, the project is building a component. So this component is a product. Our Tata company wants to build a car which is economically very feasible to all the customers. So what is a car? Car is a product. Apple wants to come out with a product called iPhone. iPhone is a product. So that means outcome of a project is either a product or it can be a service. What is a service? It can be a business function supporting production or distribution. Now let me give you one simple example. Maybe this line is pretty confusing. Now LIC is coming out with a policy. Some policy they may come out. What is that policy? We'll call that policy as COVID Shield policy. So what is this COVID Shield policy? This policy is introduced by the LIC to cover that person under COVID Shield. So it is not a product, it is a service. Or for example, let's say that you want to do a project to set up a call center. Okay, now you are going to set up a BPO, business process outsourcing. Now you want to set up this BPO office. So it is a service. So you can initiate a project to set up this service. So you have a project which can create a product, or it can create a service, or it can create a result. What is the result? Now, an organization can come out with a project to find out what are the effects of, what are the side effects of COVID on heart for various patients across India. That means people who have recovered from COVID, what are the side effects on heart, kidney, liver. So what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to gather the information, you are supposed to find out various data, and you have to come out with a result. Okay, result number 1, effect on heart is this much. Result number 2, effect on liver is this. Result number 3, effect on kidney is this much. So that also is a project. So a project can be used to create a product, a project can be used to create a service, a project can be used to create a result. So in all these cases, the term project is there, and all projects are temporary, all projects are unique, and all projects are having definite objectives. They have a definite start time and a definite end time. Okay, now, see, I have given some example. Say, let's say that a project can be used to create a new product, or change in the structure, staffing or style of an organization, designing a new transportation vehicle, constructing a building or a facility, implementing a new business procedure or process. So all these are some of the examples of the projects. Now, how are these projects created? It is because of the strategic planning. Okay, the first and the foremost thing you need to understand is a project is created because of a market demand. Very, very, very important. Market demand means what? See, you are having a company. Now this is your organization. Your company is manufacturing cars. Okay. Now you are only manufacturing petrol cars, petrol and diesel cars, let us say. Tomorrow what happens? Suddenly the prices of petrol and diesel will skyrocket. So the market is demanding that your car should also support solar power. So it's a market demand. It has to support solar power. I'm just giving an example. So that means you cannot leave with only petrol and diesel variants. You have to change the structure. You have to cope up to the market demand and change your cars to support solar energy. So what do? You start a new project now. And what is the new project? The new project is to migrate all your petrol and diesel vehicles to also support solar energy. So that means projects can be because of a market demand. Understood? Or it could be an organizational need. Very important. See, in this company, there could be an organizational need. What is the meaning of an organizational need? Any idea? Okay. So let's say that in an organization, you are all, let's say that there is a department called HR. Now this department is maintaining the salary slips of all the employees, but all the employee salary slip is maintained manually. Now they want to go for automated system. That means everything has to be automated. So that means a project will be initiated. What is the need of the project? To convert the manual system into the automated system. So they want to build a software. So that means a project is initiated. So it could be an organization need. A project can be initiated because of a customer request. Now a customer will come and request you, I want you to develop one product for me. Or I want you to develop one component for me. Customer is placing the request. For example, you are an app development company. So the customer will come and place you and request that develop me an app for maintaining the attendance of all my employees. So he is giving you the request. So then you start a project. So a project can be started because there is a market demand, or a project can be internal inside the organization because there has to be some change. A project can be started because there is a customer request, or a project can be started because there is a technological advance. This also is very important. Let's say that you are a company who has got around 100 workstations. You have 100 workstations, and all the 100 workstations are outdated. Now the technology is everybody is moving to cloud computing. They are going to infrastructure as a service. Everything is getting migrated to cloud. So now your directors decide that what is the point in keeping all these old systems. Even let us also migrate to cloud. So cloud is a technological advancement. So now your company will introduce a project to basically migrate all the old systems to cloud. So that also is one of the reasons why you will basically do a project. Okay. Or there could be a legal requirement. This also is very important. What is that legal requirement? Let's say that you are having a e-commerce portal. Okay, you are having a online store where you have a e-commerce portal where you have all the products displayed. But RBI will issue a guideline that any online transaction, a customer, if he has to buy your products online, they have to follow certain rules and regulation. And what is that rules and regulation? They have to follow the encrypted online transaction. It is called the SSL transaction, secured socket layer transaction. That is not there in your e-commerce portal. So if there is no SSL, then the RBI will slash your payment gateway, which means that nobody can use your payment gateway because your payment gateway is not secured. So what is that you are supposed to do? You have to make the payment gateway comply with the rules and regulations of the RBI. For that you will initiate a project. So what is the project? The project will be titled as making the payment gateway secured for our e-commerce portal as per the RBI guidelines. So you started the project. Why? Because there was a legal requirement. So these are some of the strategic considerations for doing a project. It could be a market demand, it could be an organizational need, it could be a customer request, it could be a technological advancement, or it could be a legal requirement. So in all these scenarios, you basically start a project, and remember the outcome of the project is always temporary, it is unique, which means that every project has got its own set of objectives. It has got a definite start and a definite end. I'll give you one more example. Let's say that you already have employee management system in your office. You have a software. Okay. Now, Government of India came out with a legal requirement that any employee who joins your organization must have Aadhaar verification. Now Aadhaar verification is not there in your existing software. So what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to build a new project where whenever a new employee joins the organization, he has to verify his Aadhaar card with your employee management system. So that's a new project what you are building. So that is a legal requirement. What is technological advancement? See, you have 100 systems in your office, and all the 100 systems will have external hard drives. But the problem is all external hard drives have become old. It is crashing now and then. Now many people are migrating towards cloud. They are not investing on any physical hardware in their organization. So when cloud is giving you infrastructure, why do you spend money on all these hardware items in your office? So your company thinks that, okay, let's even migrate to cloud. Cloud is a technological advancement. So what happens? You start a project in your organization where you migrate all the data from your workstation to the cloud. So it is called as a technological advancement. Market demand is just because you have to stay in the market, you have to initiate a new project. Now, why did Maruti scrap 800 and came out with Alto? Because 800 was no longer needed. So they came out with a new variant called Alto because there is a market demand. So as the market demand increases, you cannot keep pushing the old products. You have to keep pushing the new products. If you say that I am going to leave with the old products only, people will not come to your company. So that is the reason you have to initiate new products by initiating new projects. So organizational need means you are internally inside your organization, you require some project to be done. You want some project to be done. That is called as an organizational need. So one more example I'll give you, Panish. Let's say that your organization has got a very messy reporting structure. So messy reporting structure is every employee feels that the reporting structure is very bad. All of you will start complaining about this. Finally, the board of directors will give an approval. Yes, our organization's reporting structure is very complicated. Let us make the reporting structure very simple. That means let us change the structure of our organization only. So to change the structure of an organization is not that easy. You have to initiate a project. You have to identify how to change the structure, what will be the impact of those changes, who will be given what designations, how to make it simple. So that also is a project. And it is temporary. Once you change the structure, the results are permanent. That structure, reporting structure, is going to stay for years. But in order to change the structure, it will take few months or few years. But the results are outlasting. So these are the strategic considerations of starting a project.